Hello and welcome to another beautiful time. This is The Desk on Global Television, reaching you live and direct from the nation's capital, Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo, and on the desk this evening, we will be looking at political alignment. ADC, the coalition party, is saying, well, if you are our member, we need to know. And of course, there have been a lot of consultations going on. As a matter of fact, Thursday, that was yesterday, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the person of Goodluck Jonathan, paid a visit to the chairman, of ADC, all right, in the person of David Mark in his Abuja residence. Apart from that, we will also move to Jigawa State, where an ADC chieftain is going to talk to us. A national publicity secretary is going to be speaking to us. And I also have my guest in the studio here who is going to be speaking to us. But as a matter of fact, alignment and realignments will be happening from now until 2027. When the election is going to be happening. But then a lot of speculations across board. Who is going to be moving to where? And of course, what are the antecedents? Is it going to be in tandem with what the political parties have as their ideologies? Even though some persons are of the opinion that, well, some political parties don't have ideology, according to some political analysts. But then there is no political party that you will talk to today and their chieftains will agree that they don't have political ideologies. All right, let's go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return and I will introduce my guest to you. I have the National Publicity Secretary joining us all the way from Jigawa. Then I would also have a political analyst right in the studio here. We will continue with the conversation after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back from that break. It is still The Desk, and we're talking about political alignment and, of course, the instruction coming from ADC. I have my guest in the studio here in the person of Comrade James Ezema, a political and public affairs analyst. It's good to have you join us on the program this evening, Comrade.
Thank you very much. Nice being here.
All right, we also have Comrade joining us all the way from Jigawa State via the phone this evening in the person of Dr. Musa Isa, who is the Publicity Secretary for African Democratic Congress, CYC. It's good to have you join us on the program, Comrade.
Thank you so much. Good.
All right. So,
everybody.
Thank you very much. So, how is the political landscape in Jigawa as we speak? Because a lot of alignments going on, and we are sure that alignments and realignments will still be on. The last time we spoke, there were a lot of disjointed, of course, relationship amongst people in the ADC right there in Jigawa State. How is the situation now, Comrade?
Okay, thank you so much, fellow Nigerians and Thank you for giving me this opportunity to say something on this very great and important television stations. And these television stations entertains, educate, and really contribute to the national development. So, as you asked the questions in Jigawa State, and as it is in other states of the federations, AGC is working well, and the other some pitfalls that we encountered in the previous time is already been resolved because it was an interest of some elites, which we the youth we wake up and tell them that they cannot come and do what they want in the party, because as we told them that the party is belong to us and it's belong to all Nigerians, not to elite deal makers. So God so kind, and to God be the glory. God has given us the opportunity to overpower those people who think that they are the only one that they can say yes and no in the party. Well, now the party is belong to youth, is belong to all and sundry in Jigawa State. So it is a very welcoming development, as I can say, and we are still working, opening so many offices, almost 27 local government in Jigawa State. We have opened the office of ADCs for 2027 general election, and likewise our state has been unveiled, and we are still working to see that ADC actualize its dream in Nigeria.
All right. Well, ADC have asked her members, of course, to quit other parties and be in ADC. What is your perspective? What does that statement mean to you?
So actually, the African Democratic Congress has recently been at a center of significant political engagement, which is they held the meeting yesterday. That the meeting, the purpose is to shaping both the party internal dynamic and its future prospects on the national stage. Two key developments stand out. The first is that they discuss the issue of whether the stakeholder will continue with ADC as the platform for their candidates and their political activities, or they will endorse the newly accredited or newly registered party, which is ADA. But God so kind, they rejected the acceptance of ADA. They agree that the ADC should be taken as a platform for contestant. And likewise, they discuss so many things related to who is going to be the contestant of presidential elections, or who is going to be the presidential candidate. The old presidential candidate, including Amechi, Peter Obi, Atiku, and others who are not being disclosed, they have all agreed that when the party make any decisions or party agree to select a credible candidate, all of the candidates agree to endorse that candidate and abide by the rules of the party. So that one is a very welcome development in the party, and I do believe that that was what made the leadership of the party and ask all the members who are double standing, they are in that party and in ADC. The leadership of the party asked them they should quit from their previous party and fully join ADC and continue with the goodwill of ADC. That is a very, very wonderful and a very, very good development in the party, and that is what even makes all ADC members to celebrate nationwide yesterday. We really celebrated with the kind of meeting held organized and conducted by the interim national chairman in person of Senator David Mark.
Oh, all right. One very big political wig was in that meeting. I don't know if it was the meeting or he just paid a visit to David Mark, the interim national president, and that is in the person of His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan. He was spotted in a meeting with, in a visit, let's call it a visit, to David Mark yesterday. And a lot of things, a lot of Nigerians are thinking of maybe this alignment, is it going to result to something? Because already the All Progressive Congress, where he belongs, the People's Democratic Party, I beg your pardon, where Jonathan belongs, already saying they might be fronting him for the position of president, which is just a discussion and speculation and persuasion from some set of people. That meeting yesterday with David Mark, what does it mean to you?
Yes, like I said, of yesterday, two key developments stand out has happened to ADC, former presidents to the interim national chairman, Senator David Mark. And the second is the outcome of the caucus meeting, which he held yesterday in Abuja. So those two things are something memorable and highly in our narrations of development. The visit of the former president to the interim national chairman's house, the former president visit to the interim national chairman house, as I said, Senator Denmark, goes beyond a courtesy visit. We can take it, it is a demonstration of confidence in the leadership of Senator David Mark and the recognitions of the pivotal role he is expected to play in repositioning Nigeria and the ADC in particular. The discussions through private discussion, which we cannot have the access directly to know, but by all indications, and we believe it has been centered on fostering political unity, strengthening the internal structure of the party, and preparing the ADC for a more visible and credible role in national politics. The visit also signaled an opportunity for bridge building between elder statesmen and the party's current national leadership. And it reflects also a commitment to dialogue and collaborations and the cultivations of a broad-based political platform that can accommodate Nigeria from all and sundry, regardless of their socio-cultural or socio-economic background. So the outcomes of that visit, it was a very wonderful, and all members of ADC and the Nigerian at large have seconded and really appreciated with the kind of elder statement approach of his former president, His Excellency President Goodluck Jonathan. That was a very, very wonderful and a very, very milestone in Nigerian political development. We really believe that by doing this, we can equally consolidate our democratic system in Nigeria. That is a very clean and a more peaceful democracy. Thank you so much.
All right, I will come back to you, but let me speak to Comrade James here in the studio. I will still return back to you. Now, Comrade James, you heard what he said. This is an ADC chieftain. He has said, well, there is now a resolution. Before now, there were pockets of disunity in ADC, as in, all right, these people are just coming into the party to take our position, moving there. Where are they coming from? But all of that, he has just confirmed to it that it has been settled. That was in Jigawa State. Now, the issue of alignment. If you are in ADC, quit other parties. What do you think about that statement being issued by ADC?
You know, first of all, we have to understand that a coalition is something that someone can tell you that what it is, like, or a definition of what a coalition is. A coalition is when it comes to a political party, is about individual political parties coming together to not necessarily leaving their membership or leaving the membership, or the members of those individual political party leaving their political party to join a particular political party, but they just agree on an alliance on a political party basis to want to have a platform where they can present a common candidate for the purpose of election, or for the purpose of defeating probably one of a candidate that is formidable, or defeating the candidate of a ruling party. So if that be the case, you know that is different from a merger. A merger was what happened in 2014, 2015, when some political parties and factions of some political parties came together and they merged, and some political parties like ACN and CPC lost their certificates of registration to the new political platform, the APC as we have it today. So that is a merger. Is different from a coalition. But what it seems now is that the ADC is now a coalition of individuals rather than a coalition of political parties, because political parties that ordinarily should form the coalition seems to be, dancing different tunes. Labour Party is still saying we are on our own, PDP is saying we are on our own, and things like that. So it seems the ADC now feels that, look, let us know where we are. Individuals who are interested in the coalition, it will now become a coalition of individuals from different political parties coming together to form a formidable party. And that is what that statement implies right now. It's no longer the time, it's no longer the coalition we thought was coming, which was the coalition of political parties coming together to form an alliance for the purpose of fielding a candidate on that particular political platform while retaining their members, as it were. But with this directive, what it means is that it is now individuals who are coming together in alliance to ensure that they defeat their opponent. So I think that clarifies the difference between the kind of coalition we thought earlier and the coalition that is emerging from this directive of the ADC caucus yesterday.
All right. So as it is now, which is more powerful, coalition of parties or coalition of individuals? Because individuals still make up the parties.
Yes.
So as it is right now, which is more powerful, and what is your take as it has to do with the powers in ADC?
As it is now, if we are to look at it from the perspective of unseating the president, which was actually the major reason for the coalition in the first place, a political party coalition is a stronger force. It's a stronger force in the sense that, political parties will be working at their different levels, and you will now be able to see some members of those political parties working to ensure that a particular presidential candidate that the parties have adopted will now win the election. But when you now talk about members, individual members of those political parties coming to that to the ADC as it is now, you will see that it's going to be something somewhat challenging, because some individuals who might want to work for the ADC from within their own political party, because of certain political benefits they are having today, will now have to refrain from joining the coalition for fear of losing whatever peck of office they are getting right now from their own political parties. Take for instance somebody who is a principal officer in the National Assembly, and probably a senator or a rep member who have sympathy for ADC and the coalition, and who is now seeing himself weighing the options. Should I abandon the peck of office to defect to ADC and then lose my position as a member of the ruling party? It is going to be a tough decision to take, knowing how much we value some privileges, in Nigerian politics. So it's going to be a very difficult position for some of them. And good enough, the ADC itself did not put any timeline to the time to the when this directive should be concluded. And that also could be a smart way of making it, allowing people to have enough time to decide, so that they can know whether we are going into ADC or we are remaining in our political party to enjoy whatever thing that the party is offering us at this moment.
All right. Thank you very much. Let's get back to Jigawa State right now. Hello, comrade. I hope you are there.
Yes, I'm there. I'm here.
Oh, okay. My guest in the studio just talked about something very vital now, and that is the issue of people, okay, moving from their party to ADC, and for the fact that it doesn't have a timeline, and the issue of coalition that we know is that of political parties coming together. But now we have individuals leaving political parties to form alliance in the form of coalition. What difference does that make?
Okay. Basically, if we look at in the political theories, we look at it from that perspective, saying that the coalitions is a understanding between two or more political parties to endorse a candidate whom they deem they have the same or common objective. But in a practical form of politics, sir, there is no saying that say you must bring political party before you form a coalition. A coalition is an understandable joining whereby two or more political party, two or more persons with common ideology to subscribe to a common goal so that they can achieve certain trend in the politics. Like what I told you the discussion of yesterday between former president and Senator David Mark, through what they have discussed, if you look at it, is nothing but just an effort of coalitions. Why am I saying this? You look at it that they have discussed so many things, believing that they have discussed something centered on fostering political unity, strengthening the internal structure of the party, and preparing the ADC in national politics. And besides that, if you look at it now, what Comrade is trying to define and narrow his the ambient of saying that the two or more political party should endorse candidates simply because of his credibility or otherwise, but that is not the real definitions. So many theories have been proposed on this, what is coalition in a practical sense. In a practical sense, coalition is our understanding between two or more, either political party or two or more persons subscribe to common ideology in order to achieve that common ideology. So then, that is the first thing I'm clarifying. Let you understand this. Then going back to the what's currently happening in ADC, whereby some credible people who held one position at national level now are joining ADC day, and many cyber senators, many cyber also disclose their interest directly or indirect coalitions. So if we look at it, it does not mean political party is just a platform. If the platform is in with any member or is not going with any structure, does that call such a platform? Take an example of SDP. SDP, the owners of SDP now are full coalitions. Then what is look at now, the LP is described or given as an example. The LP now is no more in existence. Even go to their Otako headquarters, you'll find that the place is very dry.
That is Labour Party, right?
All the members of LP have subscribed to ADC because, like I told you earlier, ADC is the only credible and alternative democracy we have in Nigeria. So this is what our constitution to look at the leverages that Nigerians are looking to see some holders like former president.
Oh, okay. All right, the network is breaking. I can barely hear you.
President Jonathan, yesterday's internal reconciliation of the party. One.
Okay.
Two, they strengthen the party structure. How they will strengthen the party structure. Then they look at the youth, women, inclusion in the party, and at sometimes the strategic political repositionings, mobilizing advocacy of members.
Oh, okay.
As well as the political party that has.
All right. All right, comrade.
That has.
All right, comrade.
To this in Nigeria.
All right. I think as it is right now, let me get back to the studio here and continue with the conversation. I think your standpoint is understood. We will get to you again in our subsequent programs as events unfold. Many thanks for joining us all the way from Jigawa State, Comrade
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Now, Comrade James.
I wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Doctor. All right, as it is right now, let's get into. He was saying something very important, and that has to do with the structure and building the structure, inclusion. One of the things that a lot of people will talk about oftentimes when it comes to the issue of politics is inclusion. He just talked about the fact that part of what they discuss in the meeting has to do with inclusion. What is your perspective of inclusion as far as politics in Nigeria is concerned? Women, youth especially.
Is one of the challenges we are facing in Nigeria is the issue that has to do with inclusion, and it is not enough to discuss inclusion, because when we actually know how the ideals of inclusivity are respected in a political party is when they start selling their forms, and then we will know at what amount that the forms are being sold. We will know whether young people will be able to buy forms, or there will be concessions that will make those people to actually be able to afford the forms. So these are the inclusions, the issues that has to do with inclusion. Inclusion has a lot of dynamics. It's not just enough to say let us discuss inclusion. Yes, there's no political party that does not discuss the issues that has to do with inclusion. But when it comes to actual implementation, when it comes to practice, when he was the comrade was talking, when he was talking about the coalition, when the coalition started, we were made to believe that it was going to be a coalition of political parties. But eventually, it's now being narrowed down to a coalition of individuals. And that was what I was trying to, explain at the time. So it is in the actual practice that when you will know what is there in a political party. And it's just like when political parties are campaigning for election, for votes, and asking people to vote for them, they actually will want to tell you things that will make you vote for them. But after they have gotten to office, that's when you will actually know the realities that has to do with whatever promises they have made. So for the issues that has to do with inclusion in the ADC as it is today, we cannot say until they start selling their ticket. I think that will be the very first time we will now begin to weigh how much do they consider inclusivity in their party. Because you cannot expect a physically challenged candidate, who is actually popular, but because he has no money enough to buy tickets, if you disenfranchise such a person from contesting for an election on the basis of economic disadvantage, then the issue of inclusion has a narrow definition. Inclusion is not just about calling people to join your party. It's not just about bringing people to be members of your party, register in your party, but how is it for them, to assess some of these positions that ordinarily the rest of the people are having or occupying in that party. So these are the things. The reality will come when they start distributing offices within the party. They hold their conventions and start distributing offices within the party. And also when they start selling their forms to candidates who aspirants who wants to emerge the candidates of the party. These are the things that we will now look at and be actually we can actually rate the level of inclusion, political inclusion in the ADC.
All right, political inclusion in the ADC, very important. Now, we're still talking about political alignment. Yes. some persons still believe that there might still be some massive defection, that people have defected so much. There have been a lot of defection, and some people are still saying there will still be defections. For instance, ADC is now saying, well, if you are in ADC, then denounce your membership of any other party. Let's know who is for us.
Yes.
That is political alignment now, and that can only happen when you defect from your party and join ADC.
Yes.
So what do you think? Are we still expecting defections as far as 2027 is concerned?
In the context of Nigerian politics, defections also happen at the dying minute. Remember that in the past, you will see some individuals when they lose nomination in their political party, after buying forms and losing nomination in their political parties, they would actually go to another political party to take up the ticket of that party to contest for the same position or for any other position. And it is so defection is not something that is new to us, and we know that defection will always continue to take place. Don't be surprised that the time will come when you will now start seeing people defecting from the ADC to some other political parties because of their interests not being accommodated. So you know, political parties and membership is all about where your interest can actually, you know, be properly included in the affairs of the party. So if your political interest is not being protected in the political party where you are, most times you will see that people will want to, you know, take a journey into another political platform for the purposes of acceptance and the purposes of you know, having to achieve whatever goal that they have. You know, some of them is to contest election, some of them is to realign because they believe that this party is strong enough to win election, and they may get appointments at the end of the day. Some of them may be for other reasons. So it depends on the interest. So it is this interest that we should not be looking at, and that is what will drive defections. If the ruling party as it is today, like I said earlier, if somebody who is in the ruling party who have a sympathy for ADC or the coalition as it is, and wants to move, but because he is still receiving some small perks of office, he would not want to leave immediately. He will want to wait at the last minute when he cannot, you know, when he knows that he has gotten enough of what he is looking for at this other political party, and then he will now move and defect to the other party and then you see some people coming at the last minute, and political parties will be giving them waivers to contest for election, and that is what we will continue to see as far as political parties in Nigeria is concerned.
I think I even know a governor who defected when he lost the primary in 2015 or so. Well, let's move away from there now and get to the grassroots, because the issue of inclusion, alignment, you know, most times when this alignment happens, this defection, moving cross-carpeting from one party to the other, when these things happen, there is a way the thing trickle from the top down to the bottom, or from the bottom upwards.
Yes.
Now, let's look at what is your assessment of grassroots political inclusion in Nigeria?
That is a very difficult one, because you see, grassroots participation in political parties generally in Nigeria is very, very low, and I'll tell you why. And I'll give you a typical example. There was a time some individuals wanted to register as members of a particular political party, and a very popular political party, but try to get to the ward chairman of the party, because you cannot join a political party unless you join at the ward level, and trying to trace the ward offices of those political parties, of that particular political party, despite that is a very popular political party, the ward chairman was not available, the ward secretary was not available, and it was like, you know, dragging an unwilling horse, so to say, because the effort to get them, and then sometimes some of these party leaders, they so shield themselves and alienate themselves from the people, and most of them are living outside of the places where their party offices are, and that is the problem. Take for instance somebody who let's say a political party that is in Nasarawa State, and the ward is supposed to be in Karu local government, but he is living in Lafia and he's a chairman of a ward. So how would the people assess you? That is where the issue is. It becomes very, very difficult to have the local people, be part of political processes and join the political parties in building internal democracy, because they are always alienated. So if we can have a political party that will take the ordinary citizens who are at the ward levels and bring them together, galvanize them, and get them involved in the political processes, that would be a good one. That one will now start looking at democracy from a robust perspective, that our democracy is, going from elitist level to the grassroots level. But as it is today, our democracy is elitist. It's only the elites that decide, and when they decide, they come back to the grassroots and they now look for opinion leaders and say, this is our decision, go and work for us. That is how we are doing running political parties in Nigeria. People are now running political party on the basis of popular participation by the people at the grassroots level. No, what they do is that they have different opinion leaders who are within the local communities, that they will get to say, okay, who and who can I get so that I win election in this place? That is the questions most politicians will ask. They will be asking, who and who do I now get so that I can win election? They are not talking about how the individuals who are within those communities should be part and parcel of the political process and internal democracy that is going on in a particular political party. And that is where we have a problem in Nigeria. Most times what we are doing in Nigeria is that we have people who just decide for the rest of us what they want us to have, and they will give it to us whether we like it or not. In fact, that lack of grassroots participation has denied Nigeria the best of us being part of the political process. And I will give you an example. In my state at a time, you will see that someone who have never resided within a particular local government, or who has grown up and has traveled overseas and how is doing business overseas, is not known to the people any longer, will now be called upon by one of the opinion leaders or political godfathers or people who are in the leadership of the party, and say, come and take a ticket of a political party. Then now they alienate those ones who have been on ground working all these years, that the person has sojourned abroad, and then the person is now the candidate of the party overnight. I remember when one governor emerged in my state, people were asking, who is he, who is he, who is he? Because nobody knew him. Who is he? But he won the nomination ticket of his party, based on influence here and there. And then people were now asking, who is this person? Who is this person? But eventually he won the election, because...
So who voted for him if they don't know him?
No, the opinion leaders will come to you, and they come together and they look for opinion leaders here and there and say, okay, come, let us work for this man. And people work for the man. And in fact,
right.
it's one of the reasons why you see that sometimes people have a problem after they have won election.
You will have to define what it means to work for a politician. You are not a politician, but you are a political analyst. Because when someone is not known in a ward, or maybe in a particular senatorial district, and maybe in a state, for the sake of that governor that you talked about, and some political elite work for the person, and the person won. I think we need to know the kind of work that is involved in that kind of winning of election. Let's go on a quick break. After this break, the desk continues. Welcome back from that break. It is still, of course, the desk and political alignment. We're looking at ADC and the instruction given by ADC, but then, apart from that, what is the level of inclusion? Because everything we've been hearing about ADC is even at the top. What is the grassroots strategy? Or is it still that popular or public opinion for some set of people? It's a school of thought, even anyway, mentality, that if you win at the top, every other winning or positions down the line will be won also. Is that what political practice in Nigeria are depending on? Now, let's talk about inclusion a little bit. Comrade has told us, he just told us that he gave instances about people who are not even familiar with the people at the grassroots, down even to the state, and they still come and win election because work was being done for them. So what kind of work do you think can be done, okay, to make somebody who is unpopular popular within a very few period of time, to the extent of winning election, where we have a lot of opposition and a lot of other parties contending for the same position?
It is just like what happens in marketing. You know, when you want to introduce a product, you look for influencers, you look for ambassadors, you look for individuals who can stand and present that product to the people. You know, people whom others, the ordinary people, trust. Sometimes they look for musicians, footballers, all kinds of celebrities, you know, to present those products to the people for easier marketability. And because people trust those celebrities and individuals, they easily will be swayed to, you know, kind of follow or believe that that product is going to be good. And that is how it is with political parties, and then the way they present candidates. You will see them that they kind of bring individuals who ordinarily will not have been very marketable, and they package them and then bring them to
packaging.
The yes, they will package them and bring them just as you package a product. You package them, bring them to the people, and then they will look for the people in those communities trust and believe in, and they pick them and you know, get them engaged. You know, to market this person to the people. And because someone whom you trust is talking about this same person, even though the person is not known to you, but because the person you trust, you live all your life with, you believe that whatever he tells you is correct, is the one telling you, let's go for this person. You have no choice but to say, okay, let us follow where the leader is heading to. And that is what happens with some of these political parties. And that is why most of them don't bother about issues that has to do with grassroots inclusion in political party processes, because it is elitist in Nigeria, that is elitist politics that they play in Nigeria. We play elitist politics of people who are at the top dictating for those who are actually at the receiving end how they should live their life. Let me tell you, for example, that most political parties and their elected officials, they don't actually go to the people and ask them, what do you want? They will actually just make a budget and announce what they want to do for the people, irrespective of the interest of the people, irrespective of what is their own priority. And they will tell you, we have worked for the people. Oh, we built a school for them. Is the school the most important thing for their community? You have to go there and find out. This, you might be planning a school, and they think that the best thing for them at this time, the priority or top on their priority list, is a hospital, not a school. They can manage the school, but they have to leave to be able to go to school. So they need a hospital. And then you, on your own side, you are actually giving them a school. Some of them is pipe-borne water that they need. They need clean water. They need access to water, to clean water that they are going to be drinking. And you are talking about building a market for them. So these are the things we are talking about. So you cannot, by any means, say that you are going to decide for these individuals what you want for them. No, it is what actually they want that you should do. That's why they say that democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It's not the other way around at all. But in Nigeria, we find ourselves that is our democracy is the government of the elite, by the elite, and for the elite. And they are the ones that decide for the rest of us what they want us to do and what they don't want us to do. If they want us to have, a kind of a kind of someone that we don't even know where he came from, and he says that this person is the place to go. Everybody follows and everybody goes, and that's why it is easy for a political party leader to become from one political party to the other, because all the political parties lack grassroots touch. They don't have contact with the grassroots. Most of them that claim to be grassroots politicians are simply opinion leaders who have been identified by individuals, and they see them as a tool for them to get whichever product they want to sell, the politician they want to market at every point in time into the office they want. So that is just it. It's mostly transactional. It's about work for me, and I will, and you get promise the person that you get appointment. When I get to office, you will get appointment, or you nominate someone for appointment, and that is what we are doing. But transactional politics that we do in Nigeria.
Comrade, if it is possible, all right, because I don't know if the local government, or let's say the people at the grassroots, at the ward level, or the local government, I don't know if they have a choice. Why did I ask? Now, as it is, if someone can just come like that, and after ignoring maybe a particular district for a very long time, then someone come and the person is being packaged and marketed, and the person gets to win election, does it have implications for the people at the grassroots? And what do you think the people at the grassroots should do?
You see, the people at the grassroots, most of them don't even understand what they want. Most of them actually get involved in politics not because that is what they want, but they get involved because somebody influenced them. And that is the issue. We should begin to look at, because they are alienated, and because they are alienated and they are not part of the process, political party process in the first place, it then means that they cannot even take decision on their own.
Oh, all right, just hold it for a minute. Let's go on a quick break because we need to at least just try to finalize because of our time. But before then, let's go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return and we will let you know what is happening at the grassroots and why some decisions succeed as it has to do with packaging and marketing of political office holders who align and realign in the process of their political ambition. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. Now, comrade, as it is right now, because it has become a routine or maybe a ritual that people, when it's time, they just rush and do something. Imagine someone going to register in a party and the office is not there. And don't be surprised that that person might win election and not build an office in that ward. So finally, as we try to round up now, what is your message to the people at the grassroots? Because they have, I'm thinking they have power.
Yeah, you see, the power actually is to the people, not in terms of just ordinary, just mouthing that power belongs to the people. Power belongs to the people, sovereignty belongs to the people. We all say, because why? It is the people that will decide their own destiny through their votes. They are the ones that decide through their vote. Ordinarily, in a country, in a nation, a nation state, it is the people that decide and say, let us belong to this state, let us belong to this state, let us belong to this country. So through an act of referendum, they will agree and say, okay, we want to be here. Unlike the amalgamation that they brought Nigeria together, where the people did not actually decide and say, let us agree whether we should come together and form a country. But in a normal circumstance, it should be through a referendum that these issues could be resolved, that a decision is taken. What and how are we going to govern ourselves and by what means? But as it is today, the grassroots have been neglected in such a manner that the decisions of the ordinary people does not matter for most political parties.
All right, this is where we'll hold it. Time is not on our side, but it's so unfortunate that the ambition of the people at the grassroots does not matter to a lot of politicians. Like you said, sometimes they even decide on what to do for the people, not what the people want them to do for the grassroots democratic or maybe development. All right, many thanks for joining us on the desk this evening, comrade.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, this is the size of the conversation. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Many thanks for joining us on the desk. Bye-bye for now.
Oh.